Hi, I'm Brian. Welcome to Boss City. I'm sharing memories of my favorite TV shows. Today, I'm featuring the classic TV series, Star Trek. Created by Gene Roddenberry, Star Trek the original series aired on NBC for 3 seasons starting in 1966. It, of course, starred William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy and an iconic cast of supporting actors. Now, I enjoyed the action and adventure of the series when I was a child, but came to appreciate how the science fiction format allowed them to tell universal stories about the human condition and address topics that were previously taboo to prime time. Although I was only 4 years old when the show debuted, some of my earliest TV memories involved the Starship Enterprise. My mom and grandfather and aunt were all big fans, and they were always discussing the show. The series' moderate-sized audience decreased through the years, but it sure seemed that it had created a lot of buzz in the media. I remember all the reports on TV about Mr. Spock when he became the breakout character. And I recall my mom telling me that she read that the show might be canceled, and so that fans were writing to the network to try to save the show. So then when NBC announced at the end of one of the second season episodes that the show was continuing, I remember her saying that this was NBC's way of telling people to stop writing in. You know, there was not a lot of Star Trek merchandise available during the original run of the series. My brother and I did have the Star Trek rapid fire tracer gun, which was really just an unrelated toy that they just slapped pictures of Kirk and Spock on the package. Well, these guns shot round plastic discs out at a high speed. And how my brother and I never shot each other's eyes out, I'll never know. Although there wasn't a lot of merchandise released at the time that the series originally aired, there were albums released by some of the cast members. I talk about that in my video, When TV Stars Make Records. I'll leave a link in the description in case you want to take a look. The series became part of our family's daily life when it entered syndication, which was almost immediately after it left NBC in 1969. And this is where the show found a huge audience. This is where quotes like "Beam me up, Scotty," "Live long and prosper," and "Jim, I'm a doctor" became catchphrases. It aired locally here on KCOP 13 at 6 p.m., and it prospered here as it did in local stations all across the country. At our house, we usually ate dinner around 5, so the series was the nightly after dinner fare. In fact, if dinner was a little late, my mom would leave the TV on during dinner. And I remember buying books about Star Trek. I had the mass paperback edition of The World of Star Trek and a couple of books by Star Trek writer David Gerrold. I also had the Miko action figures that were released to coincide with the 1973 animated series that ran on TV, ran on NBC for 2 seasons. But thanks to the success of Star Wars, Star Trek made the leap to the big screen in 1979. I was a teenager at the time and had to resist offers to see Star Trek the Motion Picture with friends until I could arrange a time to screen the film with Mom and Grandpa. My favorite episodes include the humor-infused Piece of the Action, where Spock and Kirk imitate 1920s gangsters. It was directed by comedy veteran James Comack, but William Shatner's tongue-in-cheek performance and Leonard Nimoy's deadpan delivery play so well in contrast to the other actors who are playing the script straight and playing it seriously. Now, while it may not be one of the best episodes, it is one of my favorites. But I also love City on the Edge of Forever with Joan Collins. The original script, penned by Harlan Ellison, the legendary sci-fi writer, is the best of the series in my opinion. This is where Kirk and Spock time travel to Depression-era Earth to prevent an impaired McCoy from changing world history and messing up that whole time-space continuum. This show features great performances, a lesson on sacrifice for the greater good, and a heart-wrenching ending. But how about you? Do you have any favorite Star Trek episodes? Do you have any Star Trek memories? If you do, please share them in the comments. I'd love to see them. I want to thank you so much for watching. This has been Boss City Brian, and until next time, I'll have my phasers on stun. Many blessings. Bye for now.